Mobile Suit Gundam RG XARX-ZERO.
Great name.
Is it about you?
Great name.
Anime,
They literally just be naming stuff.
They just, and the way it's spelled, it's like, how do you get Alex out of this? Anyway.
Like, I need someone from the team to explain literally any kind of sense behind the naming convention.
Coming to you from Crunchyroll HQ, this is the Anime Effect. Each week, we bring you the latest news and views from the shows you love. It's pop culture with an anime lens.
And if you're new to the show, hey, welcome. We kick things off every week with some banter. Yeah, we be talking about stuff and things and topics.
Bants in it.
Yeah, we bant in it. Before we dive into what we are watching this week, so you might get a new recommendation there. Then after going over our watch list, we are going to explore the biggest anime headlines of the week before diving into our main segment.
And of course, before we go bye-bye, we finish things off with everyone's, and specifically Lee's favorite segment.
What up?
You know what it is. It's fan service.
It's your boy, LeAlec Murray.
It's me, Alex Level, in this chair over here this time.
I know,
no one
right?
can pin me down.
He's
the wild card of the group.
Instant teleportation to jump chairs.
And I'm Leah President.
And together, we're here to see just how powerful the effect of anime really is. Okay. Got some cool stuff for the banter. So, we have to start with SDCC. Just wrapped up. But more importantly, the Eisner Awards happen at SDC every year, which is a award show that is a celebration of comics, comic creators, writers, the whole industry, the whole nine.
So fun.
This year, Akira Toriyama got inducted into the Eisner Hall of Fame.
Oh my gosh, it's about time, bro.
Yes.
It's about time.
So, of course, the legendary creator behind Dragon Ball, Dr. Slump. This was a long time coming, and I am so excited for like him and his family. And the thing I love about the Eisners recently is that manga has been getting a lot more attention.
That's true.
Because usually the Eisners, like in the past, have been really singularly focused on Western comics, and then they're broadening their horizons quite a bit. So I'm happy to see Toriyama in this position. I would be even more happy if he was able to actually accept the award.
Yeah,
of course. But his mark on the industry is everlasting, because I'm sure a lot of the people that were in that room were in some way, shape, or form inspired by Toriyama and the work he has done across.
Honestly, whether they know it or not.
Whether they know it or not.
Whether they know it or not, the impact was so broad. Like, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, but well deserved to enter the Hall of Fame like this.
Yeah. They should have had a special like dragon trophy made for him. That would have been dope.
Before we keep going, I have to say something.
Okay.
So I watched your interview with the Leon Kennedy. I was very jealous. But so I've been watching some horror movies. I watched Evil Dead Burn in the theater recently. I went in the D-Box and I was like, whoa! You know what I'm talking about? Like 4D. And I want to know what you guys thought about the new trailer.
Oh, for Resident Evil?
Yeah, it looks so
I thought
scary.
it looked great. So the thing with this movie that I'm really impressed with is Zach Krieger very much went on and was like on the record and was like, there will be no Leon, there won't be any Chris, there won't be any Claire. This is about a dude that gets trapped in Raccoon City while all of this stuff is happening. Yeah. And
it's crazy. And like he finds the ammo in a
take.
drawer and he gets the shotgun off the wall. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. The camera, like he's even talked about how he is intentionally setting the camera in places to where it looks like you're playing the game while you're going through the movie.
And faceless girlfriend calling on the phone. Or wait, no, like her image showing up. I'm like, that is so video game. Like it's so funny.
I'm really happy that like the tide of like video game movies is turning, because it used to be like, oh, we get video game movies and we just know they're bad. Like we just know they're bad.
This one will break the curse.
But and I think there's been some that have, really kind of cracked into it before. I mean, the Sonic movies have been done very well. The last batch of Mortal Kombat movies have been done well.
But that's easy. I feel like that's easier because you have like a license to be goofball a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Sonic, like that's a character, I don't know.
But
I'm very
Resident
interested.
Evil, to your point, is so expansive that you can really go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably the best place to take it if we're going to be completely honest.
But sorry to hijack everything.
No,
I just wanted to talk about it because I was so jealous I wasn't here for Leon.
Just a bit.
Oh, he's so cool.
I mean, I think this is what we should expect from the director of Miss March.
Yeah. I mean, and also like
weapons.
The way he worked on weapons was incredible. So
That movie was crazy.
I just you can't forget that he was a comedian before doing all this.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he was. Was it the Whitest Kids You Know?
Yeah, he was in The Whitest Kids You Know. He was Abraham
Bro, I'm
Lincoln
dumb.
in the Abraham Lincoln sketch.
To your point, I mean, because Jordan Peele's the same way.
I was just going to say, why are comedians so good at writing
Because there's
horror?
a very thin line between comedy and horror, and I think that's why it's working.
I love him.
Speaking of movies.
Yeah. Before we run out of time, speaking of movies, the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie is officially live.
Yes.
And
so
what
good.
a time was had. That movie is incredible. I will also say that movie is meant to be in theaters.
It is meant to be in theaters. Put it in theaters. We want to support it in theaters.
Now, it got a small theatrical run last weekend in Burbank in New York, just so they could.
Oh, I was like, I didn't hear about that.
No.
I would have been there.
Yeah, they specifically only did it in Burbank in New York for the weekend run so they could be considered for Academy Awards.
What?
Yes. So,
that's just such a bone throw.
I have thoughts and opinions, but I will not say them on this hot mic currently.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. That movie is absolutely fantastic.
It's
they had
so
a
good.
huge presence at SDCC. This is the best the gang has ever looked. The animation was great.
Yep.
There's also a wrestling connection there because Dave Bautista plays Taga, who is the main villain in this movie.
And what other connections are there, Lee?
Oh my God. Here you go, Leah.
What
What's
other
the
connections are there? Well, we found out from a slide during the panel that the villain was somewhat inspired by final season Eren Yeager,
Classic.
aka Mr. Kruger.
He just stares into the darkness.
But
Also,
I thought that was funny. he's like, it's like, Ariana, what are you doing here? Like, he's on this slide, just like.
you don't even go here.
And where's the copyright?
Right.
He's just like so random on that slide. It's hilarious.
Yes. Also announced at SDCC was Avatar 7th Havens, which is the next in the line of Avatar. So the Avatar this time around will be a Earthbender. Also will be a twin, which is going to get very, very interesting.
Imagine being the twin that didn't get the powers.
Right.
And not being a bender at all.
Yes. So also kind of looming large over this one is it's happening years following Korra, and it looks really dark and dank, which means the ending of Korra ended bad for everyone, and it stays bad. And I'm interested to see where it goes because the end of Korra made me very angry because I was like, what are you doing, bro?
Well, they were very going into sort of it was kind of 1920s vibes, right?
Yeah.
The level of technology, a little Bioshocky.
They were very much speeding up because a lot of Korra, the story of Korra was, do we need an avatar as the world continues to be more modern?
And machines competing with it. That's why I'm like, when are we going to get the cyberpunk avatar version? How does that play into everything?
Hey, give it time.
Waterbenders are going to go more and more extinct because we're going to lose more and more water as the future goes on.
The Avatar Studios did say that there is a potential for more offshoot Avatar movies or shows or comic books even because they said there's a ton of stories to tell in that universe.
Yeah. I mean, get Zach Kreger on it. He's got plenty of side stories that he wants to tell in any universe.
Oh, could you imagine Zach Kreger telling a spirit horror
Hey bye
Avatar
or
side story? What was it, the face stealer? Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
We cooking now. All right.
I also thought initially when this was announced that this was an Avatar 7th Heaven crossover for all you ABC family heads out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, all 8 of us.
The ABC family heads.
Oh my God.
Kyle XY fans, rise up.
Anyway, Avatar: The Last Airbender and Attack on Titan is a crossover I never saw coming. The same thing can be said for this week's biggest news because Marvel is giving us a Spider-Man manga with gasp Katakawa.
It's Spider time. Like, I feel like Spider-Man is dropping all sorts of updates every week, and I'm here for it.
Our Anime Effect story this week is new Spider-Man manga is announced with Katakawa and Marvel, of course. Marvel and Katakawa announced this partnership to create original manga featuring Marvel characters. 5 series are in development. We'll start with Spider-Man, which will also feature Daredevil and Punisher. All 3 of them look incredibly bad. Like the new Spider-Man.
Are they all going on Hot Ones too?
Yes, like, absolutely.
Like Daredevil?
Yeah. The new
Not Hot Ones.
The new takes on Spidey, Daredevil, and Punisher are very well done. If you guys haven't seen the images, please go seek those out. This was announced by Marvel's new editor-in-chief, Steve Wacker, and CB Cebulski, who joined some of the folks over at Katakawa to do this reveal. And this happens just after the split with Shueisha, where they had titles like Deadpool Samurai and Spider-Man Fake Red. What do you guys think about this?
This is cool. This is exactly the type of art that everyone wants to see, is taking these like iconic heroes and putting them through this type of lens that takes that, like, I don't know,
anime
like
lens.
Well, thanks for joining us this week on the Anime Effect. It's like takes that emotion and that, like, almost, I know you get it from comics, but I don't know, there's something that's just like awakened in you when you're reading manga or watching anime. It's like this extremely larger than life scenario, and kind of taking something familiar and putting in that setting just really amplifies the experience overall. So I cannot wait for this. I'm not the biggest like Western comic person, but like this will get me to be more involved with Spider-Man. I'll go back and replay the game. I'll swing through New York on my webs. I'll land on some water towers. But no, this is going to be super exciting. I can't wait to see what's coming for this.
It's kind of giving a little bit Vigilantes, no? Like, that's my thought when I was looking at the concept art.
It's giving a little bit of like My Hero overall, I guess, which is not a bad thing, especially because the inspiration from My Hero did come from American comic books. I think the more interesting thing here is this is, I think, Marvel's like second or third shot.
Yeah.
I think it's their third trying to get into manga as a whole, and I think they're learning and they're progressing and they're getting better, because I know their first big shot across the bow was when they did Big Hero 6, which was great. But it didn't really hit the audiences that they wanted to. And then the deal with Shueisha, and then now with Katakawa. And since a lot of this seems like it's going to be original, and they're recreating a lot of these characters to fit in a new like manga standard, I think they may have more success here.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see too this spin cycle that's getting closer and closer of like anime influencing the West, then the West influencing anime, and now they're like coming together, and I don't know, it's a cool, I don't know, what, neutron star relationship where they're like circling each other, and it's like they're intimately intertwined, and I think this is going to be something that people are going to read it and be like, this is the coolest thing I've seen.
Yeah, I am super excited about this. They didn't give a release date just yet, but I'm sure we will find out more, especially as we are barreling towards Doomsday.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like ever since
like the thing from Fantastic
the
Four.
movies have no longer sort of like been popping off in theater. Like, it was pretty much like a 3-time annual release for Marvel. Like, all the way growing up into like when I was like graduating college, all the way through like the Thanos, everything, all of it, like the I Don't Feel Good, Mr. Stark, like all of that. And I feel like now it's kind of it's like moving away from a cinematic universe. I mean, we do have like the Doom thing happening, but it's like
we got all the Ryans. We got
coming.
All the Ryans.
Gosling, Ryan Reynolds.
All the Ryans.
There's
it's
a
like we
council
already
of
have
them.
What is it? All the Chris's. They got all the Chris's.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have all the
moved on to
Ryans.
Ryan Leaf, get ready. You're getting called up again.
Who's American Idol?
Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest is coming to the Marvel universe.
He could be the new J. Jonah Jameson.
Dude, he still gets his bag too. I've been hearing him like
He
on
still
radio
makes money,
ads
bro.
and like podcast ads. I'm like, okay, get your bag, King.
Seacrest is gonna make some money.
All this to say, I feel like it's pulling away almost like cinematically, and I'm seeing it pop up in all of these adjacent fields. Like, as we know, they've been having so many different like Magic the Gathering drops, and then they've got like they're going back into like comics more, and then we're seeing like this arc with the anime
And fighting games, like that new
Tokon.
fighting.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to see that major shift in Marvel because I feel like Marvel over the last like 6 months has been putting different pieces in place to kind of readjust and reimagine their universes at a broader scale. And they're trying to make them a little more connected, as it were, to where connected enough where people will understand. And I think that's what we're really starting to see, whether it's this with Katakawa, whether it's them getting a new editor-in-chief, whether it's like Kevin Feige like taking, master control over like overseeing all that's happening at Marvel. So there's a lot of shaking and moving that's been happening that has been trying to make their universes more palatable for people, especially when you talk about movies. Kevin Feige said like once we hit in Doomsday, it's we're gonna get back in focus because we know people haven't been able to keep up. So
I feel like
this is just part of it.
I just want no more multiverse and no more origin story.
The multiverse is going away.
No more multiverse, no more origin story. It felt like every single IP in the whole world, or it felt like every single brand in the whole world did a multiverse arc for like 10 years straight.
Yep. Yeah,
it's like let's actually put stakes back into the story, please.
No more multiverse, please.
With peace and love.
Peace and love. We can live without it.
Well, between this new manga and Marvel Studios movies coming out, Peter Parker is living the high life. Except when he was eating those hot wings, he did not have.
He was not having a good time.
But before we can think about binging more Spider-Man content, unless it has Penny Parker, so that we can hear more from Gerard Way, it's time we discussed what we've been watching. Lee, why don't we start with you?
So we slightly touched on Marvel Tokon during our Marvel manga discussion. They had a open beta this past weekend, which I played a ton of, had a ton of fun. I might have my team boiled down. We'll see. I got like 2 weeks to think about it before the official release. But because of that, I decided to watch Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. I was pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting the title that I watched. Not in a bad way.
But in what way?
In a very, very good way. Being somebody that has always been into fighting games, anytime that they have done an anime that is like based on fighting games or is like adjacent to fighting games, it's always been like really didn't deliver what I was looking for.
Call them out.
I guess is the best way, because like
name names.
Name names. Put it on main. And that's mostly because being a fan of fighting games, like you expect like a certain level of attention and detail, like when they're talking about fighters. Like, and I'm not talking about animes that are specifically based off of like, Street Fighter or King of Fighters. I'm talking about stuff that is like, oh hey, we're playing in arcades and blah blah blah, and like usually don't deliver. This one, holy, it starts out as kind of like your kind of like generic, like, two girls that go to a boarding school, and they kind of set it up like it's gonna
Isn't
be
it an
like,
all girls boarding school?
It is. It starts out like where it's gonna be very like rom-commy or very like slice of life,
a little
right?
walla.
Yeah.
But it quickly turns when you're when you're introduced to these characters. Masaki meets this new student called the White Lily, and it's basically this girl that they really like, that everybody in the school kind of like holds up to this really high standard because she's super pretty and like they feel like she can do no wrong. Well, Masaki happens to walk by like just a club room, and here's the White Lily in here beating
Yeah.
it's Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. Finish the rest of that sentence.
And her reaction is immediate, where she was like, oh, she's playing Street Fighter 6. And then their relationship develops because they start developing like a friendship, like rivalry, to a point to where they're like they're in their dorm room trying to like do sets of Street Fighter, but they're having to be quiet about it because they're in a boarding school and there's there's curfew and they're not supposed to be up. But it's an incredible watch. There's so much fighting game lingo in it. Like, and the thing I think I love the most about it is, if you don't know anything about fighting games, as the characters are talking about like the moves or counters or combos, like they actually kind of like slow it down and they'll walk you through it. And I think it's like such an incredible like learning tool for people that like want to play fighting games, or if you already play fighting games and you like seeing people in their natural element. And there's going to be like some kind of Evo tie into it as well too.
Oh, nice.
Extra virgin olive oil?
Yes.
Rachel Ray, unlockable character.
Right? Because they talk about like Evo Japan, which is kind of hinted at. And they like kind of hint at them like entering a tournament. And so it was really, really cool to see. And I logged into Street Fighter 6 recently, and they actually did like a collaboration with the anime too.
No, really?
Yeah. So I was like,
that's good cross-marketing.
So, young ladies don't play fighting games.
Well, it seems like they do play fighting
They
games.
do play fighting
Okay,
games.
so that's what you weren't expecting.
Yeah, no,
Subversing.
not at all. But you can watch Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games on Crunchyroll. Aaliyah, what you got?
Well, I actually have a manga rec this week. When's the last time we did a manga rec?
You're watching the pages as you flip through them.
I'm watching the pages as I flip them.
It's been a while.
But
you get a pass.
I'm saying this because I was out on assignment last week, aka on vacation, and I had a lot of time to sit by the beach and read stuff. So I packed some manga, and I just grabbed some stuff from my shelf. One of which I got almost an entire full set of last year from Half Price Books, because it was just too good to pass up. Absolute Boyfriend. Have you heard of this? This is an oldie but a goodie.
I feel like I have seen that at Half Price Books, but didn't
Yes.
like read the back
hilarious. It's like a comedy of errors where this like girl that like she's in high school, she's like unlucky in love. She's like she has a lot of like circumstances where she's like very like kind of alone a lot of the time. She has like one best friend that like, well, I don't want to spoil anything. He's in the story throughout the whole thing, but she accidentally orders from like this weird shady company like a boyfriend robot.
Okay.
And he's like
All right.
he's like a synth that like nobody can tell he's a robot, but he's a little like strange, like he doesn't really know what to do, and he like adapts to her personality, but then he starts to have like a like, am I real?
An awakening.
Like yeah, he starts to like kind of like want to be more of like a person, but he's like her perfect boyfriend, and she like accidentally ordered him, and so now she's like deep in debt and like can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really fun. She keeps like playing by the rules so that the company like will try to like release her from the debt. And so she like keeps him around, and like hijinks ensue, love triangles ensue. And it's just like really funny and cute, and like it's that really classic like shoujo manga art.
Yeah.
Love it. Very good.
Nice.
Absolute Boyfriend.
Yeah.
Related to the Kyle XY plug we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it now. It's old shoujo beat joint. Interestingly enough, there was an 11-episode live action drama that aired in Japan
Nuh-uh.
in 2008.
Live action?
Yes.
Wait, let me look
There
it
was
up.
a Taiwanese adaptation that aired in 2012. And in 2019, they did a 40-episode K-drama.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
But no anime?
No
But,
anime.
Like 3 live
but they've
action
done 3 live
adaptations?
actions, yeah?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's steamy. Did you look at the images?
I did not.
Oh my
nah, I'm
gosh.
afraid to.
He's like in a Barbie box all like hot.
Well, I mean, if he's a synth, I would imagine he would arrive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're looking him up.
Alex is like, wow.
I should have been in incognito mode for this.
I know. But it's really fun. That's really funny that there's no anime adaptation, but like
Wow.
all these live actions. That's so funny. It is very like romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of gives like, do you remember that old like George of the Jungle movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's
You
like,
mean-
I don't know how to live in
You
society.
mean the one with Brendan Fraser?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
Wow. Brendan
Tarzan
Fraser
walk around
mentioned
house
on the Anime
naked.
Effect.
But yeah, Absolute Boyfriend.
Young Alex.
So I was a massive fan of Clevitas season 1.
I was too.
loved
Season 1
how
was so
just
good, bro.
No holds barred, grip it and rip it. Everyone's
Like a
getting
Beyblade?
like, yeah, exactly. Like someone's getting flayed each episode. There's blood flying everywhere.
true.
It's looking like you went to the pasta sauce aisle at Kroger.
It's
and just, like, knocked them
discontinued
all
snack
over.
Grippets.
Yeah.
Remember
Grippets,
those?
if you're listening, we'd still eat them if you mailed them out to us. But I am still a fan of Clevitas Season 2, even if the direction has changed a little bit and it's now more of a school show.
Yeah.
It's opened up like...
It seems like a very stark, like, 180.
It's hugely different. You just went from like the most intense, dark portion of the series at
Yeah.
the end of season 1 to this like mystery solving, you're going undercover like 21 Jump Street style to this magic academy.
Okay.
And it does kind of open up like elements for specifically Alicia to show her personality.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
be kind of silly, and you get to know more of the side characters, and of course they're in a class, so there's like these two twins that are ridiculous, and like the silent, strong, super powerful guy that surely they'll end up fighting at some point. You're trying to figure out how Drell, the dragon guy at the end of season 1, got so powerful, because it wasn't like muscle milk and a Gold's Gym membership. Like, he tapped into something else, and maybe it was at the gym at the school. So they're trying to find that out.
What's the milk that they have they try to sell and It's Always Sunny?
Fight milk.
Fight milk.
Fight milk.
It could have been fight milk. There's
been
still
fight
a
milk.
couple
With
episodes.
the bicep flyer.
I'm really enjoying the shift. There's still like action scenes and
Okay,
fight scenes,
cool.
so you get like one of those per episode, and you're learning more about the rest of the world, and you're seeing all these like untapped realms, and it's really cool, and I really enjoy it. So I've been watching Clevatest season 2. Also, we premiered an AMV for Clevatest season 2 at AX, and it was hype as hell by a band called Static Dress. They stopped by the office on Friday, then they did a show on Friday
Very
with Motionless
cool.
and White.
We gotta link that. Is it available? Can we link
Yeah,
it?
so the AMV is on YouTube. Check it out. It's super duper awesome, and it'll absolutely make you want to watch the show, because you should watch the show, because I've been watching the show, and everyone should be watching the show. So Clevatest season 2, you can watch it on Crunchyroll. You will watch it on Crunchyroll.
All right. It's about time we cracked open the anime news vault. We've got a lot to discuss this week, but I'm going to kick off the segment with a single phrase. New Gundam anime has been activated, y'all. So, Mobile Suit Gundam RG XARX-ZERO.
Great name.
Is it about you?
Great name.
Anime.
They literally just be naming
They
stuff.
just, and the way it's spelled, it's like, how do you get Alex out of this? Anyway.
Like, I need someone from the team to explain literally any kind of sense behind the naming convention.
Yeah, I mean, last season, last year's G-Quux, and
like, please tell me what it
sometimes
means.
it's just numbers or
like
letters.
Nier Automata, even too. Like, tell me.
Please let us know. This one is going to be directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who is known for Ghost in the Shell standalone complex and some other works. I feel it's time. It is time. It's been, I think, not that like G-Quux was bad. I did enjoy it. It was a good like retelling of like what like alternate universe like you see. But I feel like the big appeal of Gundam is the newness that you get with the series, because like you think about like Unicorn or Witch from Mercury, like the big appeal of Gundam is getting new Gundams, right? Yeah. This new Gundam takes place in a new timeline, confirmed to be AA or After Apocalypse, which means there might be some
AA.
Yeah, not
Anime. Anime-holics Anonymous.
Wow. Wow.
My name's Alex, and I'm a Gundam.
Yeah. Just a Gundam. Not even a Gundam watcher.
Yeah,
he is
I
a
am
Gundam
now.
I am become Gundam.
He has become Gundam. What are you guys' thoughts on the new Gundam series? And have you seen the trailer?
It's been said a lot on the internet, and I completely agree with it. Get me more mechs with capes, and I'm in.
Yeah, dude.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, man.
No capes.
No capes. He also has that weird, like, rad-looking arm.
Yeah.
Like, I love. Listen, why did this Gundam have to have a flex pose, right? Like he's kneeling down with his arm over his knee, and the cape just like floating in the wind, and he's just like looking straight out in the distance, and the human is just like, what is like? Who said let's have the Gundam flex and have the human look like an idiot?
How much fabric do you think that even is?
He probably just found a tarp somewhere. And just was
tarp?
like, it just had a big ass tarp. It was like, here's this big tarp. Let's just tie it around my Gundam. And it looks.
I want a tarp.
Look, when you name it Alex, you got to bring the swag. So a lot of this is making a lot of sense.
You heard it here first, y'all. You heard it here first. What's really cool about this series is that it actually is going to have some ties to the previously announced Gundam video game, Rogue Orbit. They happen to be in the same universe and or timeline. So I am Very interested to see what this apocalypse age is. No tie to X-Men, unfortunately.
And how do they get their energy?
And yeah, what's happening with all of this?
Do they plug themselves in with a USB? Oh yeah, Dr. Pepper Zero.
Yeah.
he's C-powered USB. There is no date for XARX-ZERO yet, but Gundam Rogue Orbit is set to come out next year, which in itself is a new look for a Gundam game because it's going to be Gundam's first like semi-open world, like single player, like action third person shooter.
Yeah, like live in the world kind of game.
Yeah.
Go beat them up.
Yeah. I am like the trailer was super cool, so I'm like really interested to see what happens. And of course, you know, the new Gunpla will be on deck after that.
That's what this is all for.
It's all for the toy sales.
And I'll buy them.
and we will buy them.
I feel like this next one is speaking to me.
Okay, you want to take this next one?
So Crunchyroll, okay, so if you grew up in our era, you know this anime, Kami-sama Kiss.
Okay.
Literally messy love story.
What do you say? Messy boots?
Yes,
yeah.
messy boots. Very good, LeAlec. Oh my God, I've never been prouder. Crunchyroll added all of the OVAs to the catalog. So there are 5 total like special episodes. OVAs are like special episodes. Sometimes they're called OADs. It all means the same thing. And they popped onto the platform on the 23rd, so they'll still be out by the time you're hearing this. They're old episodes. So like I said, this is a show that like I grew up with. Like they were originally bundled with volumes 22 and 25 in 2016. And then in a 25.5 fan book. So
Okay.
yeah.
I actually love this.
Yeah,
cool.
We have a lot of advocates for the show, specifically in our area of the office.
Yep,
So
yep.
Oh my gosh, you need to watch it. Especially like there's like a hot like what is it? Anamorphic? What is the word? Anthropomorphic
Yeah.
fox who is like a messy queen, and you just have to see. It's so good. It's full of drama. Like it's good. It's really silly.
Tis the drama.
There's some things about it that were like, oh, that was of the time.
Yeah.
Like it is a very nostalgic show. But yeah, that's so fun. You can see that on Crunchyroll. But that's all we have this week for the news. I know what I'm going to be watching and probably bring up next week.
Or you could watch Demon Slayer.
Or Demon
you can
Slayer.
watch Demon Slayer.
Plug.
If you still are wanting more news, it never stops. It never sleeps. We have the source for you. You can go check out Crunchyroll News. They're on top of all of the breaking anime news across the internet. So make sure you check them out. We will have the links in the description for all of the stories we mentioned below.
So while you're reading all of those stories and watching all of the anime we just talked about,
And manga.
And comics that haven't come out yet that you're excited to read.
Period.
I think it's time we jump straight into Lee's favorite segment.
Oh boy!
It's time for fan service.
Hell yeah! Y'all know what time it is. All right, for fan service this week, we are zooming out as Caleb dropped an important question in our DMs about anime remakes. He says, in your opinion, what is the secret recipe? What is the sauce for a great anime remake? Alex, you want to go first? You need time.
I have an answer, and I am scared to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
I think the secret to an anime remake, we're talking remakes,
Straight up
not
remake.
continuations.
Getting nervous.
Not updating, and we'll see if like Bleach, where this group falls on Bleach. But my recipe for a great anime remake is don't do anime remakes. It's just
But hey, wait, what about the new One Piece?
Watch One Piece.
You heard it here first.
Alex, the man that is not a fan of remakes.
I like seeing, and we were just talking about this with Kami-sama Kiss. I like seeing, maybe this is the liberal arts English major in me,
Okay.
seeing the work from the time period that it existed in, even if that means that the animation isn't as up to date as some other things, or even if there's like some story elements that we looking back would be like, oh, that was problematic. We're at least appreciating it in the time that it took place in. We're not agreeing with it, but we're seeing it contextually within the like historical landscape of anime and manga. So I really like seeing originals in their time. I like seeing the like hand-drawn style that most of them that we would be considering getting a remake would typically have.
Sure.
I like seeing the technology or how far we've come in terms of like dubbing or translation or localization, and seeing like, wow, we've really come so far. So it may not be the answer you want to hear, Caleb, and I'm very sorry about that, but
or maybe it is.
There's so many great stories out there that could be remade, but I don't think they should be remade. And if there is a need for a remake, I think you can go read the manga, because I know something like Tokyo Ghoul is one that's talked about a lot. It's like, wow, it'd be really cool if they were to do that again. That's closer
because
to the
of like the that's what I was gonna bring up, is like, for example, you have like a Full Metal Alchemist, which this Brotherhood was like a little bit more faithful, because at the time Full Metal Alchemist the anime outpaced the manga's creation,
because it didn't finish.
So then it calls upon like a readaptation, like if you actually want the canon endings, the canon like character arcs, whatever. I totally see that. And then also on top of that, like I brought it up multiple times on the show, but like I really enjoyed the Fruits Basket remake, but the old one, I prefer the old animation, but I prefer the new take on the series and like the new direction and stuff like that. But yeah, like you can't beat looking back at like the old hand-drawn, like, I don't know, the art style. Like there's no other way to put it. Like,
yeah, it's like looking at a picture of yourself as a kid and being like, I used to look like that. Wow.
Yeah.
But like, I've come so far, but in a positive way, because like, oh, that makes sense for when this was taken. And I guess to your point, in terms of the Fruits Basket remake being preferred, maybe was it like the directional changes or like how they updated
and there were like cultural things that they changed about some of the characters that maybe weren't with the times. And so like they just took out a lot of like the distracting pieces and made some like minor but I think necessary adjustments to the story. And the new animation is beautiful though. I'm just saying, like, for a nostalgic point of view, like, you are going to be speaking to two different generations. Like the original, like, there is a group of people that they grew up with that, so that's going to be their Fruits Basket. But then the next generation, the remake is their Fruits Basket. You know,
or it could be a case like you think about a show like Samurai Champloo, and a large piece of that show was the music that Shingo 2 and Nujabes created
Friends
for
of the
that
show.
But Nujabes has since passed. And if somebody said, you know, and that's kind of the argument that's happening with the live action for Champloo right now, is there's no Nujabes, so what are we doing about the music? Because that sense of like hip hop music and styling was very integral to that show. So I can see in that way where it's like, it doesn't need a remake because all the pieces are there, whereas all the pieces won't be there if we did a remake.
Yeah. Or if it's a remake, it needs almost like what we talked about with Resident Evil. Like, it needs a new spin. It needs a new direction where it has that same franchise. And there's one airing this season. I'm not going to remember the whole name, but it's like Magical Girl Nanoha. Like, it's an old Magical Girl title, but the new remake, in quotes, is telling the story from a different perspective or introducing new characters that tie into the main characters from the original series. So I guess in that sense, it can be a remake, but it's also, it's providing more color and context to the world.
Or like they did with Trigun, because Trigun is in sense a remake, but the story of Stampede and Stargaze is being told differently through, you know, another lens to be able to, for it to feel like the old series, but because they're doing something new, it doesn't seem like they're washing over the entire thing.
And bring it up for the 30th time, Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah.
The animation, so different. The story, so many different avenues, explorations of character, like you can't really hold those two pieces of media up next to each other and be like, oh, like this is too much the same story. Like they're very like, it is so reimagined.
And I think that's why, like, you think about properties like Astro Boy that have been hit or miss with their remakes, right? Because, like, the original Astro Boy is absolutely legendary. But then
live action Astro Boy,
when you try and redo Astro Boy, it, like, does okay or it completely, like, falters because it just doesn't hit the same kind of beats. Because when Astro Boy was made originally, the world was a lot different, right?
I was thinking about the Speed Racer live action.
I know what you meant,
Listen, look at me. The Speed Racer live action, peak. It was ahead of its time.
It took a risk with that filmmaking.
The Wachowskis were
It took
geniuses.
a risk. I was like,
y'all need to go watch that movie. Listen, look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Watch that movie. The Speed Racer movie is incredible. Anyway, back to our point.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's the answer here, is if you're going to do a remake, you do it for one of two reasons. You do it for like the Full Metal reason, where it's like we outpaced ourselves and we had to come up with an ending. Or you have like a creative reimagining that you would want to do for the title, still giving the legacy title its flowers, but not making it the exact same.
Yeah, like you're almost making it approaching the version that you're creating without trying to keep the old one in mind.
Right.
Like you're making something so distinctly different artistically that the only thing tying them together is the characters.
Right. Like, IP. Again, I'll bring up Trigun. Like, really the only link to the original Trigun and the new series is the character names.
Yeah.
Like, the, like, Vash and Knives look completely different. Like, the style of animation that Orange is going for is completely different. Like, there's a way to do a remake and do it in a way that, like, makes people happy about how you're doing it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like this is a non-anime answer, but the new Interview with the Vampire.
Sure.
How like they changed so much, but the like situations and emotions are like somehow still so book accurate that it's crazy. Like I like that sort of like obscure, almost like alternate universe version of these characters where like you have these major story beats that get hit and the details in between aren't as important, but they still portray the same understanding of a character. So I really like that.
Caleb, that was a fantastic question. We would probably talk about this way more. We probably should. We should probably just look back to this and make it a main segment. But if we did not, we'd be going over time.
Yeah, so. I'm going to be thinking about this a lot. Also, great remake, the Count Your Blessings remake that Bring Me the Horizon just did with their new album. Okay. New old album, I should say.
You gave some hot takes here.
Hot. Because
blazing hot.
Scorching.
All anime takes deserve a home.
Fajita plate.
Even
hot
the
take.
ones. Even the weird ones, especially the weird ones. The weird ones are the best ones, in my opinion. So send us your takes ASAP. Right now, type something at got.cr/anime effect questions. Leave us a comment or a 5-star review or both. Wherever you watch us, wherever you listen.
The Anime Effect is hosted by LeAlec Murray and myself alongside Alex Lebel, the show's only authorized Nick Friedman impersonator. The show is also executive produced by me and Nick Friedman, who is on assignment. Hopefully we'll see him soon when he returns from the war. He'll be back in 28 years as like a beggar. Dude, wasn't it crazy when Agamemnon was like, take your time, go in disguise, assess. I was like, that was crazy. Anyway, our showrunner is Megan Peters and our marketing producer is Carla Solorzano. And as always, special thanks to Shaun, Michael, Cologne for editing and mixing this episode. Regular Shaun.
Thank y'all for joining us for another episode. This was the Anime Effect. We will be back next Friday, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Later days.